Welcome to this YouTube channel. Today we are going to look at Django modeling models and the creation of admin page in Django framework. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please you can do so that you get any of the update on my videos. So like last time in my video where I started on getting started with Django, I have created the starter files for Django so that when I run the command python manage.py run server, like the way we were doing in the previous video, you find that this is enabling you to be able to start the Django framework so that at least you can see whether it is functioning. Make sure that from the previous video you've run the Python migrate to at least create the migration file, and basically once that has been done, when you run python manage.py run server, you can be able to see that our link is generated here. This link is what we are posting on the browser, and you can be able to see that we are starting from where the usual Django display file. So today I want us to create an application in Django, and this application is going to be about posts. So I'll split the terminal here. I'll split the terminal so that we create an application. On this other side, on the left, you will be able to see the manage.py running, and on the right is where we are going to create our application. So for us to create an application, we are going to do python manage.py start app, and this app this time we are going to call it posts. Maybe you want to create posts for different users in your application so that at least you can be able to display them, and these posts that you want to create are in your Django database. So I'm going to name it posts. This will enable Django to be able to at least create for us an application that we can start with in our development. Now basically you can say that Django has a very powerful object relational mapper that is an inbuilt support for multiple database backends, that is PostgreSQL, MySQL, MariaDB, Oracle, and SQL. And this means that as developers, when you write Python code in the models.py file, it will automatically be translated into the correct SQL database. Now, the only configuration required is to update the database sections of the Django project settings.py file. We have settings.py file here. So when you look at this part here, we have .py file, settings.py file that is normally required for you to do the setup. For local developments, mostly you will find that whenever you start Django and you run python.manage.py migrate, you will have the DB, the SQLite DB, because it is a file based and therefore far simpler to use than any other database options that require a dedicated server to be running separate from Django itself. So once we have done this, we have our posts. Our post application. Our post application has been created here. It has now the various files that we can use for developing this Django application. So after the creation, we will configure the posts like what we used to do in the previous video. We will configure the post into the Django settings.py file so that at least it can be able to recognize that this is an application that is also existing. So like what we did, that is what we are supposed to do. The other thing is now be able to run python.migrate so that we can be able to at least update everything. Good. Now, from here you can see that everything is updated. We have the SQLite file that has been created. So this file normally is always being created for the first time when you run migrate or run server. However, migrate will sync the database with the current state of any data model contained in the project or listed in the installed apps. In other words, to make sure that the database reflects to the current state of the project, you will need to run migrate and also migration each time you update the database model. So from here, when we run the python manage.py.run server, you will find that our application runs correctly through the run server framework. So what do we want to do? We want to create a model. Now we want to create a model that is enabling us to be able to store information for our users. Now, when you look at the Django application that has been created here, we have a folder called from that has from DjangoDB import models. This is where you are going to create your models. So when you open it, it has the Django.db import models. Now this helps you to build new database models which will model the characteristics of the data in our database. For example, I can decide that I want to create a class here, class with post, class called post, and this class is taking in models dot model, and whatever I want to create here is just one field. For example, text is supposed to models dot text, because whatever I want to create is a text field. It's a text field. So that is a text field that I have created in Django. It's a text field. So that is a text field that I've created in Django. This text field is where our information is supposed to be created. So in activating this model, so for it to be recognized, first we create migrations file which will enable us to be able to migrate or do our migration. So I will first of all stop the server from running, and here I will run python manage.py make migrations. So this migrations command will enable us to be able to create files that reference the changes in the database that we are creating. We have created a model, for example, with a class called post that is having only one field, and you can see the creation has been done here. So from here we make the second time we now built the actual database so that it can be on the DBSQL, and this is done by running the command migrate. So we are going to do Python manage.py migrate. Good. Now here it is highlighted that everything has been done correctly. Now it means that our Django admin page has been created correctly. So the next thing here is about activation of the admin page. Basically so that at least we can be able to register this this model that we have created. Now in Django, for us to create an admin, we have the command uh, python manage.py that is used in creating super user. So we are going to write python manage.py create super user, who is going to be like the admin. So here we will be prompted to the given links username. We can name it as admin. We can give it any password as any email as per now. So that is the password. We have created a super user, and therefore once we have created a super user, we can be able to at least navigate to the admin page so that we log in and see how it looks like. So when we go to our browser here and include admin, our browser is not picking it because we have not started the server again. So let me start the server. Our server is now started. Now when I go to the page and refresh, you will find that Python is loading the admin page. So this is how the admin page looks like. I'll place the password that we have, the username that we have created as admin. Good. Now this is now how the admin page looks like. So whenever you load the Python administration, you will always find that this is how the administration page looks like. So the administration page gives you the different users and the group users. When I click to the user, for example, you will find that what I had placed here as when I was registering as the super user is what only is available here. So this admin page enables you to be able to at least register other people. If there are the people that you are working with in an organization and you've created your application using Django, you can be able to register them here and give them different permissions. You can be able to at least give different permissions. Now, if you log into this admin page, you will find that it is not able to still recognize our database that we have created within the models. So for us to be able to get our database that we have created, we go back to our page and go to the admin.py, and inside here we register the model that we have created. But first of all, what we do we tell Django page, we are now importing the post class that we had created in the models. So what we'll do is from dot models import post. That is what we had created. So for us to register it, we are going to do admin.site dot register. Register what? Register post. Register post. So you will find that post has been registered in the admin page, and therefore when you refresh the admin page, the server again, good. Now so once you've started refreshing the server, you will find that post has been created here. Now, as per now, we don't have any posts that we want to place in this page. So we can decide that we want to do an hello here, and maybe pick some text somewhere, so that at least we can place inside here. Let me place maybe the term hello world, because that is the common hello world. That is maybe the post that we want to create. So I will save that, and you will see that here I'm being given a reference that I have created a post that has one object is posted. Now for us to be able to at least manage that, so that we can be able to see the text, we can go back to our models.py, and inside here we tell the py to display the string. Now for us to do that, we are going to define a class, and this class is taking in string, not a class, a function, I mean a string. And inside this string we are returning self dot text, and we are telling Django to display a maximum of 50 characters in the text field. So we can tell it to display up to 50 or 20 characters within the text field. So this means that I have to, because I have done the modification of this page, I have to again run the migration if I want, or if I don't want, I don't run the migration. But if I go and refresh the page, you find that hello world has been created here. Now this is the display that you get on the administration page. Now how do you leverage this display so that at least you can give it to different users? Let me add, for example, I add another post that is based on called Django introductions. I save. Today we are doing Django models and administration. I save. Then maybe I can add another one called Django tests. So these are maybe 4 posts that I have created in the admin page. Now how do I route these posts that I have created? so that users can be able to interact with them in our admin page. And that is where now our usual, from the previous class, our usual creation of the views file come into play. So in the views file, like we did last time, we are going to create the list views. We are going to create the list views. We are going to import post from models, importing post from models, and then we are going to create how users are supposed to view this. So we are going to have a class called homepage, and inside the homepage we have a parameter called list view, and inside that list view we are going to have the model. Our model is going to be post, and then from this model we are supposed to route this to a template name called home.html. So we will have a template name is equals to home dot is equals to index.html. So from here, this is what is supposed to be displayed at the index.html. We have not created .html as a template, so inside here we will create a folder. That folder we will call it templates. Inside templates we will create a new file. This file is what we will call the index.html. So this is where now we are supposed to display what users are supposed to see in ensuring that everything is okay. We are registering templates in the settings.py. Make sure that you have this registered inside the templates, the base directory to be templates, whatever we have created here. Now after registering that, whatever we are going to do is on the html.index.py, let me create a heading one. And this heading one, I'm going to call it posts on Django development. So after doing this, I've created a heading one, and we want to display our post. We can display them using lists the way we do normally do in HTML, an ordered list. And this unordered list is routing, is having the closing, and inside in this unordered list we are going to have lists, the list tag. This list tag is where now we plug in our posts that we want to display. So for example, now what we will do in the Pythonic way of doing that is having the two curly brackets, and then we say post dot text. Now I'm going to close this, and because we have several posts, we are going to loop this in a for loop, the Pythonic way in doing that, especially in Django. is using the curly brackets with the dollar sign for post in posts. For post in posts, what do? We route through that, and then the other thing that we do is call in end that for loop. So here we are going to end the for loop. So we have created for post in posts. This is what we expect that is supposed to be displayed. So for us to be able to display that, we are going to register. I'm going to stop the server from running, and then we are going to register on our URLs. On our URLs here, I'm going to register. I'm going to register the posts application. So here I will have like include. By the way, ensure that include is also imported in the URLs. So you do include. From our previous video, we have talked about what include does, and inside include we are going to pick in posts dot URLs. So we have post.urls under the bracket there, and then place a comma there. So we have registered this application in the Django. Now the next thing that we are supposed to do is create a URLs file on posts. So I'm going to create a file here and name it urls.py. So we have urls.py, and inside this URLs is where now we are going to register our views. We have created a view here called homepage. So inside this URL is where we create our views. So the first thing we do is from Django dot urls import path. The next thing we are going to do is from views import home. We import the home page. Then this is registered under URL patterns, and inside this URL pattern we are going to define path, because we have already the path, and this path is what we are going to have as home page. And because it was a class, I remember from previous class we always do that as view, and give it a name. Name is equals to home. So that is registration of the view class that we had created here. Remember, when we call in the view is going to call in the index. The index is going to display the posts. So when I do python manage.py run server, and I go to our page, and at this point here now I'm going to copy this link and paste here. And at this time now, I'm not going to the admin page. I'm just going to the usual page. You find that we have posts on Django, which now when you refresh the page, you are able to see whatever we have registered in the database, and the users can be able to at least see whatever you are doing. Here you can also decide that you want to make changes, like when we decide that we want to make changes to the hello world, we can go back to our admin page. We can go back to our admin page, and here you can click on the admin page, and then we decide that we want to hello world, welcome to this channel for technology exploration. Then I write, please make sure you subscribe for more video updates. And I save. Go back to the page and refresh. You see, welcome to this channel for technology explorations. Please make sure you subscribe is updated automatically. So ensure that you subscribe so that at least you get more updates on my videos, especially when it comes to Django development. Uh, thank you.